Welcome to 3 and Out with Jason and Kevin. I am Jason. That's Kevin. We are brought to you by CincyJungle.com, SB Nation Cincinnati Bengals site. We are sponsored by Eastgate Smiles Dental Care. We are on the Orange and Black Insider. Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, anywhere you can get podcasts. We're on there every week. Kevin and I are usually on Thursday morning. The last couple of weeks, we've been Friday mornings. We've had some personal things going on that we needed to deal with. But we are here every week, and there's a lot of other great content every week. There's OBI, there's Chalk Talk, there's Talking Football with Bengal Jim and Friends. Check it out. Great content every day. Check out CincyJungle.com. Check out our Eastgate Smiles Dentistry if you got, teeth stuff, whatever. Kevin, we got a lot to talk about today. We kind of got made fools of last week, which is good.
God, yes.
I'm not complaining. How you doing, buddy?
Doing okay. Apparently, we still have a lot of interest. No matter how this goes, no matter what your opinion about what we saw and its sustainability and everything else, we have a lot of interesting football ahead of us, man.
We do. I was not expecting that at all. We came in, so everyone watched Jake Browning versus the Steelers, and it was a mess. Everyone knows it was a mess.
Yep.
Now, I know it was a short week. I know that, the game plan didn't seem great. I think that we kind of came in thinking like the ceiling is not very high. The ceiling's not going to be very high. The offense is going to struggle. The defense is already struggling. And it wouldn't surprise me if they lose out. And we were kind of talking about that there's silver linings to that because top 10 draft pick, whatever.
Yeah. I like this silver lining better.
Oh,
which
yeah.
is pure chaos.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It really is. I'm in like every game is, I'm hoping at least, is now going to be a wild ride and just incredibly fun. We're going to lose games and I'm going to be like, okay, well, let's talk draft picks. And we're going to win a game and I'm going to be like, Jake Browning, MVP. He's taking us to the Super Bowl.
Oh,
I am here for the ride. If it can't be consistent and it can't be like, hey, Joe Burrow, drive us to the playoffs, drive us to the Super Bowl. I want chaos.
Let's have some fun.
I want fun chaos. And this is exactly what it is right now.
Oh, I know. So, just to give you an idea, I just want to go over, we're not talking about stats all the time, but it's what Jake Browning, 32 of 37 for 354 yards, 9.6 yards per attempt, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, 115.5 rating. Okay. The fact that he first of all, let me say this. If you told me that the Bengals are going to go into Jacksonville and Jake Browning is going to attempt 37 passes, I would say we're screwed. We're screwed because obviously they didn't run the ball, but they did. And we'll get to that.
Yes.
But I would think it's done. And he had 5 incompletions. Joe Burrow doesn't have just 5 incompletions most of the time. And Joe Burrow.
Here's my stat is I saw this 350 yards, 85% completion rate.
Yeah.
In the last 20 years, Lamar Jackson, Herbert, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Jake Browning. That's it.
I know.
That is wild to, I mean, I know it's one game, but we're having fun at this point. Let's ride with this.
So much fun.
It is wild to have Jake Browning listed in the same list as that list. Like, it is, I almost didn't know what to say during the game. I can't even describe like that. I was, for the first half, I wasn't even having fun so much as I was just trying to process what I was even witnessing. Like, this can't be, this is a fluke. It just kept happening. No, I don't, what am I seeing, man? And then by the second half, it was a wild ride. It was a blast.
Yeah. So the first drive, they came out on offense. They got a first down, and then Browning took kind of a bad sack on 4th down, where he should have gotten rid of it. And I was thinking, hey, they got a couple first downs. I'm fine with that. They got a first down. They're not, they're not Jake, Brad Robbins isn't punting from his own 20, so I'm happy. And then the second drive, I don't remember. Oh, the second drive they went for it they tried to kick a field goal and they missed. Came up like a foot inch short. And then from then on out, and this is amazing. From then on out, it goes for the Bengals. Let's see. Touchdown, end of half. Touchdown, punt, touchdown, field goal, end of half. Absolutely amazing. I would not have seen that coming. I wouldn't have believed you. I'd say no way. He came out. He's an undrafted free agent out of Washington. He had great college career. Career. And then that he just wasn't drafted. They said he's not an athlete. He's not the guy, and We saw what he did against Pittsburgh, and now he turned around and he absolutely lit them up. And when I say that he put the team on his back, he did, because they ran the ball.
Him and Jamar.
Right.
Jamar definitely saved that completion percentage. He does not have Burrow's accuracy. Right. Jamar was picking a couple of them balls up from angles that maybe a lesser wide receiver couldn't have done. But it's the team, man. Teamwork.
Right. I know. And when you say he doesn't have Burrow's accuracy, there aren't many guys who do have Burrow's accuracy.
No, there aren't.
But Jake Browning was throwing the right reads. That's the big thing.
Yes.
Throwing to the right reads, looking secondary players off. And he just played like a veteran. He looked like a veteran, and he had a full week of practice. And he even said during the post-game broadcast that he was able to do this because they ran the ball well.
Yeah,
which is very true. Very true. They ran the ball over 30 times compared to 8 from the week before, and it worked.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it worked. And we're not going to talk a lot about Jacksonville because by the time you see this, it's going to be Friday. So, but what do you like from Chase Brown? Because I know you're a big Chase Brown guy. So tell me what you
was
like.
Very, very, very happy with Chase Brown. I think he had like 2 of the longest running plays all season. He looked good. He looked quick. He looked decisive. He has that burst of speed on the outside that we absolutely need on this team. I'm all about Mixon being that like down and dirty third down back, and let's mix Chase Brown in there for a little bit of variety, a little bit of a deeper threat. We have not seen much of him. So again, we're in this weird zone right now. We're talking about Browning. We're talking about Chase Brown. I don't want to like project from this game.
Right.
But Chase Brown is starting to look like the running back I thought he could be. I don't think he's necessarily a world beater, but I do think he has it in him to be a high upside player.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. I think that he now the jury's out when it comes to if he can carry the load like a bell cow, and that's kind of a thing that's not.
I do not think he can. He's too small.
No, I don't think he can either, and that's really kind of a thing that's being phased out in the NFL. It's just there aren't many guys who carry the whole load, But I think he's a good complement to Mixon. He has an extra gear that Mixon does not have. That when he makes a guy miss, he can take off. Mixon kind of doesn't have. Mixon's kind of a plodding runner now. He's kind of like I'm going to get 3 yards, I'm going to fall forward, but that's what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Chase Brown has he's a lot more elusive, a lot more speed, has some really good burst. I was super thrilled. 31-yard carry, and we haven't seen that all season.
Yes.
It was great. The offensive line was great. They opened up holes, and all the running backs were hitting them hard. So it was awesome. Awesome to see. So I don't think there's really, like I said, I don't think there's much of a point in talking so much more about Jacksonville. We got to talk about the Colts, and I think really what we need to do is kind of reset expectations for what we hope is going to happen. So why don't we go to commercial break? When we come back, we'll do that.
Sounds good.
All right, Barry, be right back.
Eastgate Smiles Dental Care is a warm and welcoming environment where expertise and customer service come together. As a local business, they love helping their fellow Cincinnatians manage their oral health and achieve a perfect smile. They pair the latest technology with years of experience to give you a smile worth showing off. They are dedicated to quality and convenience and can even perform dental crown procedures the same day in most cases. You like your smile, but they are here to help you love it. They personalize your care and match your needs. Call them today at 513-528-1150 to learn what they can do for your pearly whites.
All right, so I want to ask you, last week we talked about setting expectations for what we were going to hope, and we both said that we don't think this is a playoff team without Joe Burrow, and that, they were probably, maybe they'd squeak one win out and lose the rest, maybe. And we talked about how, hey, that's not necessarily the worst thing. Here's what you get from that. Easier schedule, high draft pick. Yeah. After seeing, now there are definitely some people online who are saying, hey, it was awesome what happened. It's a fluke. He is still Jake Browning. Okay. And I don't think that's true, but I want to know, in your opinion, where do you see this offense moving now? Do you think, I personally, I'm of the opinion that I don't expect him, I cannot expect him to complete 86% of his passes every week. I just can't. It's just not possible. I think he will come back down to earth. I just don't know how far. I hope it's not like crashing down, but I kind of want to get your perspective. Like, what do you think? What do you see in this offense moving forward? Do you think that this has potential to be a playoff team?
Okay. I'm going to preface this by saying right now we have almost no actual information.
Right.
We have one game. We have one game to really go on here. But we walked into this game with two assumptions. I think a lot of people did. And that's that Jake Browning can't ball and Zach Taylor can't scheme.
Right.
And what we saw was Jake Browning put up record-setting numbers. Yep. And we saw Zach Taylor change the offense to suit Jake Browning and create an absolutely different offense. Not absolutely, but a different offense to support his new quarterback. And he did that in a week.
Yep.
The expectation, till I know otherwise, is that we're a winning football team. And as long as we keep doing this, playoffs are back in the picture. I am rooting for and expecting success till I'm forcibly brought back down to earth. Do I think that's likely? I don't know. And I don't care. This is more fun.
Sure.
This is more fun than tanking. This is more fun than making mock drafts this early in the season. I am now back on the bandwagon with this offense to support him. Jake Browning can do it, and Zach Taylor can build an offense around him. Right. I don't care. Until next week when I take it all back. This week, that's where I'm at. Join me. This place is more fun than being cynical.
Oh, yeah. Yes, absolutely. 100%. So I talked a lot about that this game reminded me a lot of the Ryan Finley Pittsburgh Steelers game when we came out in prime time again and beat the Steelers when there was no chance it was going to happen. You know what I mean? It was just a great game plan. Ryan Finley had a great game, but they came back to earth real quick because Ryan Finley was not good, right? I'm not expecting that to happen with Jake Browning. Like, again, I don't think he's going to complete 86% of his passes, but I think he's going to be serviceable. I do. I think he can be serviceable. I think he's going to prove over the next few weeks that he has what it takes to be a good quality backup in the NFL. Sure. Maybe not, obviously he's not going to push Joe Burrow for starting. I was afraid that I was going to get like on Twitter or something and be like, oh my God, think how much we can get for trading Joe Burrow. I never saw anyone say that, thank God, because there's a lot of fans who are absolutely stupid enough to say something like that out loud. But I think Jake Browning over the next few weeks is going to prove, yes, I belong on this team. I can win if something happens to Joe. You know what I mean?
Yes. If we take a lesson from this, it is not that Jake Browning is better than Joe Burrow. Right. It is that I don't know who's to blame for it, whether it is Joe Burrow being insistent on the style of offense they play, or Zach Taylor being insistent on the style of offense they play, or them doing it together in a way that is detrimental to the team as a whole. But this proved they can get them easy yards. They can scheme guys open. They need to take a hard look at whether they constantly want to be playing the highest possible level football at every moment.
Right.
And maybe instead you get in 30%, some easy yards, some easy completions, something to get the rhythm going. Joe Burrow doesn't need to play chess all 60 minutes.
Right.
And this offense clearly functions really, really well when you don't ask a quarterback to do that.
Right. And like you said, chess versus checkers. We consider Joe Burrow is obviously a master chess player. It's okay to play checkers sometimes.
Yes.
Sit back and let the other guys do some stuff. You know what I mean? So I totally agree with you. I would like to see next year when Burrow comes back, I want to see the offensive game plan from last week with Burrow behind center. This is how terrifying would that be for everybody?
A good amalgamation.
Yeah.
Because there is definitely to the style of offense they were playing before, if played at a high level, it's almost unbeatable. Like no single scheme or defensive option is going to be able to stop it. So you want that. You want to run that 60-70% of the time. And you also want 30% of them easy plays for when everything breaks down and you need to get back in rhythm.
Yep. And we talked about, like run the ball. And they did. They ran the ball well. And I absolutely believe in this circumstance, how we've talked about before, like, we want the Bengals to run the ball to set up the passing game. That's not necessary when Joe Burrow is the quarterback because the passing game is there already. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It was necessary last week, in my opinion. It absolutely helped Jake Browning out. When the running game got going, everything opened up. And you can't play too high safety against a team that can run the ball. You know what I mean? That's what everyone likes to do against Joe Burrow. And if you say, hey, you know what? If you're going to play too high safety, we're going to let Mixon and Chase Brown or whoever's playing running back next year with Chase Brown, we're going to just let him punish you. And when you start creeping up, then Burrow's going to do whatever he wants. You know what I mean? Yeah. I saw Joe Goodberry mention something about on Twitter that he thought that the game plan was so good. He's like, that's Dolphins stuff. This is Mike McDaniel stuff that they were doing. And you need to push that a little bit on Joe Burrow next year, which I totally agree. Absolutely agree.
Yes.
The game plan was great. Like I said, I don't think it's sustainable at that level. I think that kind of came out. I wouldn't be surprised if you found out Jacksonville was like, We got it. Jake Browning. You know what I mean? I don't know. You see these trap games and stuff like that. Maybe this is how it was. I expect them to bounce back against, well, Trevor Lawrence is out, so who knows? But
if there's an argument to be made, I don't think it's that this was treated as a trap game.
Right.
Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Wouldn't have really mattered one way or the other because the offense that they saw was not the offense they would have seen on tape.
Right.
So
Yeah,
if you want to make an argument as to like the team had more success than they maybe deserved, that's the reason is they went out there and they went out there with a relatively new style of offense that the Jaguars had almost no opportunity to really prepare for. There's just no tape on it.
It's very true. Very true. They just didn't adjust very well. And I do want to stress again that the game plan was great. The running game helped. But Jake Browning made throws, great throws.
Oh,
that a lot of guys can't make. I mean, there was a throw in particular, I remember in the third quarter, I think. It was the fourth quarter where he had hit Drew Sample and just had a great touch pass as he was rolling out. A great touch pass right over a linebacker's head. And there's not a lot of quarterbacks who can make that throw. Great throw.
No.
Great stuff.
No, but also to bring it back down to earth because we have to. Because there's an 85% completion rate here that we're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, there's multiple times where he was bailed out, mostly by Jamar Chase, but by the team in general. That 71-yard touchdown that Chase pulled off. That was underthrown and absolutely should have been an interception.
Chase made that play.
He made that play, but also the cornerback didn't make that play.
Right, exactly.
That cornerback had been half a second faster, and it is an interception, and there's nothing Chase can do about it.
Right.
He had to slow down. It just is what it is. And I'm not being negative. Again, I'm on the hype train because it's more fun to be here than not be here.
Oh, I know.
But perspective's not the worst thing in the world.
Right. It's not. So expectations moving forward.
Super Bowl.
Okay, there we go. All right, you heard it here. Jake Browning is going to take the Bengals to Super Bowl.
Why not?
I know there is no reason
for the stars till they're proven wrong, and we will be, and it's fine. But this is fun.
Yep, it is absolutely fun. So I do want to say about their schedule, something that does look good is we talked about how their schedule is just like murderer's row. You know what I mean? In the second half of the season, the AFC is not what we thought it was going to be.
No,
it's not. It is just it's rough. But they have the Colts this weekend at home with a backup quarterback. They have the Vikings next weekend with a backup quarterback. They have the Steelers who might be playing a backup quarterback, even though I don't really know if it matters that much. They got the Chiefs. Yeah. They got the Chiefs. There you go. Chiefs. They got Mahomes, and then they got the Browns backup quarterback. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games with 5 quarterbacks who are out for the season, which is incredible. Well, we don't know about Pickett for sure. Every single one of those games, matter. Right? No, it doesn't. Every single one of those games, with I think the exception, and I'm not saying that they cannot beat the Chiefs. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying with a healthy Mahomes, this isn't the same defense that we had against the Chiefs the last couple of years. I'm not expecting that to be a win. But the other games are absolutely winnable. Absolutely winnable. With a great game plan, the defense steps a little bit. These offenses are struggling. All these teams are struggling. These are not like we were talking about all these teams are playoff teams. They're not anymore. They're not, they can make the playoffs. I don't think they can win the division. I don't think so. They would have to win 4 of the 5 games, and they would need some help from Baltimore. They'd have to lose a couple. I don't see that happening.
Just missed practice.
I know. Can you imagine all 4 quarterbacks from the AFC North all gone? How crazy would that be? I know. But I think they can make a wild card spot. I really do. I absolutely do. Now, if they get there, what happens in the playoffs? Because it's a whole new thing. I don't know. I have no idea. Can they win a game? Absolutely. Will they? Who knows? But if they get to the playoffs with Jake Browning at quarterback, with his great gameplay, think of the coaching muscles in your brain that you're flexing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Think about the experience, like when you come back next year and you have, hey, Burrow's fully healthy, he's ready to go. Think about like what you can do. Look what we did last year without you, and now you're back.
Yeah,
we're going to win the freaking Super Bowl. We said that before 2024. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I believe it. This game has reinvigorated me for Zach Taylor. Absolutely reinvigorated me with Zach Taylor.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm just to summarize it, and then I think we're kind of done. But to summarize it, I do agree that I very, very much hope that the lessons that are being learned right now bring us a much more interesting, more hybrid offense the next time we see Joe Burrow on the field.
I absolutely agree. I think they will. I think it will. I think that there's no way that you can look at the success they had last week, and if that success continues, there's no way that you could look at that and say, "Oh, well, we're just going to go back to what we were doing." No way. I hope. We'll see. But let's do a couple game predictions and then check out of here. Colts Sunday. Gardner Minshew. They're 7-5. Sorry, they're 7-5. Got a really good defense. They really do a good job at pressuring the opposing quarterback, and they have a really good offensive line. Jonathan Taylor has not practiced this week. I'm assuming he's going to be out. So Zach Moss, they're going to run the ball. They're not going to shy away from telling us, hey, we're going to run the ball. Michael Pittman is coming off 2 100-yard games, 100-yard-plus games. How do you think the first touchdown is going to be scored?
Tanner Hudson.
Oh, I like it. It's been a while. I like it.
It has.
Tanner Hudson.
It has.
Yeah.
Tanner Hudson.
Right.
It's going to Jake Browning to Tanner Hudson. He's the guy. I hope they eventually figure that out. Yeah. He's the tight end. He's at least the receiving tight end. Yep. So yeah, Tanner Hudson. I'm calling it.
Okay. And then what quarterback do you think makes first mistake? Like interception, whatever. You think it's going to be Minshew, or you think it's going to be Jake Browning?
Minshew. Jake Browning didn't throw a single interception with an 85% completion percentage.
Exactly. It's Minshew for sure. That glorious Fu Manchu thing is not going to save him this time. And then guys, what do you think the final score is going to be?
I think we pull it off. I'm being like I'm being funny, but I do think we'll pull it off. 23-20. Okay. Close game. Yeah. Growing pains.
Yep.
They've got some tape on them now. They'll be able to figure out a couple weaknesses. But I think we pull it off.
Yep. I think I would agree. I say the Bengals' first touchdown is going to be, I gotta say T. It's been too long. I think it's going to be T. He's obvious. He's going to be back. So I say T. Higgins. And first mistake, I would say Gardner Minshew. And then my final score, I'm going to say it's going to be just a low scoring, good defensive game. I'm going to say it's going to be 20-16. 20-16. So Bengals. And then that'll put them they'd be 7-6 with 4 games left, looking at 3 backup quarterbacks and Patrick Mahomes. So doable. Really, really doable. Yep. Yeah. So you got anything else, man?
Nope. That's it.
Nope. Me neither. Well, we will be back next week to hopefully talk about another incredible. I do want to ask you this. So I heard there's Jake the Snake. We've heard that. And then we heard Ted Karras call him Downtown Jake Brown.
It's Downtown Jake Brown.
That's the one you want to go with? I think. I really like Downtown Jake Brown.
Jake the Snake doesn't mean anything. Downtown, at least, he's going downtown.
Yeah. Downtown Jake Brown. I love it. I love Downtown Jake Brown. I really like that one a lot. Jake the Snake, is that from I've never seen Escape from New York in my I thought it was like Snake Plissken.
I mean, no, I don't think so.
No. I don't know if his name was Jake.
Snake Roberts.
Okay.
Ultimate Warrior,
All right. I don't know. I've never
just saying that era. Anyways, so
all right. So again, we'll be back next week. Hopefully talking about the Colts win, and we'll talk a little bit about what's coming. The Vikings after that. Again, we are on the Orange and Black Insider on YouTube, anywhere you get your podcasts, not just us. A lot of great stuff every single day. Check it out. Subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. We're brought to you by CincyJungle.com, SB Nation Cincinnati Bengals site, sponsored by Eastgate Smiles Dental Care. Kevin, good night, and Who Day.
Who Day.
That's great!